Good evening to everyone present here on this fine Sunday. I welcome you all to use yet another amazing webinar, Edtech Bootcamp, a math talk with pen tab with Mr. Shezan Zakriya. This webinar will cover ways of dealing with mathematics for school level exams and competitive exams like JEE, NEET, and JEE Advanced. It will also explore the learning of maths in a digital environment and how this tough subject could be made super fun. Talking about our today's mentor, I would like to say that Shezan Zakriya works as a mathematics faculty at AskIITians and had previous experience of teaching in prestigious institutes like T.I.M.E and Cuemath. He not only teaches the students, but also conducts online counseling sessions to cope up with online learning, which is a very important thing these days. He's a postgraduate of education technology from the University of British Columbia. Now, I would like to say thanks to Wacom for supporting us in this event. And now, without any further ado, sir, this virtual platform is all yours.
Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. My name is Shezan. Thank you, Sarthak, first of all. My name is Shezan Zakriya. And as Sarthak introduced, I am an engineer turned educator. I've been teaching for 4 years now. And currently, I'm working with the AskIITians Bahrain. And I'm based out of Bangalore. And I've taught in many reputed schools of Bangalore too. So my take on education is a futuristic one, wherein I believe in accepting the change rather than questioning it. And I like to explore different educational tools, and I like to experiment about it in my classrooms. So I see that there are 79 attendees here, which is quite a lot. I would like to know what backgrounds are you guys from, so that I will direct my presentation in that sense. So I'll be starting a poll at this moment. Please answer appropriately. Okay, so I see 4 students have voted and 2 teaching professionals have voted. Okay. I'll just wait for 1 more minute, then we will start with the presentation. All right. Okay, so it's enough for me to, the data here is enough for me to conclude that there are more students in this webinar, and a good amount of teachers and teaching professionals, and some parents, and some from other fields. Okay, so let us start this presentation, and I would like to give some more polls in between. Please make sure your participation is there in that. So I am sharing my screen now. Right. Fine. All right. So we are starting with Edtech Bootcamp, a math talk with pen tab. So that is by me, Shezan Zakriya. So what we are going to study in this webinar is basically understand that why we need to accept online learning. I mean, online learning is something of the future. We need to know that it's going to stay, irrespective of if pandemic is going to be there or not there. Online learning is something which is going to stay. Okay. So again, nowadays the debate going on nowadays, which is very common among teachers, parents, students, is that is online learning better or offline learning better? Most of you think that, most of you think that, okay, online is better for so and so reason, or offline is better for so and so reason. But mostly the perception in India I've seen is they say that, yeah, online learning and all is fine, but offline is, something else. Offline is better. But that is not totally true. The research nowadays support that there are pros and cons to online learning as well as offline learning. So let me uh, give one more poll to understand what do you think, if online medium is better or offline medium is better. So I want to know your opinion. And the third option is hybrid learning, which is nothing but both online and offline, wherein some days it will be online, some days it will be offline. So what do you think? I want to know, as my audience, I want to know what do you think is better. Okay. Right. There is maximum vote for offline learning at the moment. Most of you think that offline learning, going to classroom and studying, is uh, better than online learning. Okay, now it is equalized. I'm surprised to know that there are few votes given for hybrid learning also, which is a new concept wherein it's proposed that you do online and offline, you do a combination of both online and offline. For example, 4 days of class will be online, 2 days will be offline, where you will do your physical education subjects and all those things. Okay, fine. So more or less it's a 50-50% here. It's a divided it's a divided opinion among people that okay, online has this thing better, offline has this thing better. Let's understand what are the issues which are there with online learning, the current issues what we are facing, and try and find out solution for it, rather than complaining, telling that okay, fine, online learning is something which is going to stay temporarily. No, it's going to stay for some more time now. It's going to stay for a longer time now. As you all would have noticed one thing, that the internet is changing, right? The internet we had 10 years back, right? When you saw Google Maps or your Zomato app, or the digital marketing space, the kind of ads you're getting, it was different compared to what we have now, right? So what we call this is as the transition from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. We all are moving towards something called as semantic web, wherein everything is driven by data, and wherein a computer or a machine is your aid rather than just an equipment. You need to understand that a computer can be as good as a human being if used properly, right? So now, starting with the presentation, online learning versus offline learning, right? So again, what are some common problems we face in online learning? What are some common problems we see? One is maybe inability to focus on screens. We are not used to, looking at the screen, right? We are used to looking at the screen while watching a movie, while watching sports, or when it is on TV, when it is just one way. When you're learning online, you need to understand that it's a two-way interaction. It's not a one-way thing. You're not just looking what's happening there. You need to understand also, right? Second one could be technology issues, infrastructure, wherein a country like India faces such kind of problem a lot, because there is not much access to people, technology to people. That is, people don't have the right equipment or right device to absorb online learning. The third one could be sense of isolation. Sense of isolation means like, you're staying at home, you're not going to school. So your social life becomes very restricted. You have a you have a simple, just home setup. But then you don't have to, fall for that actually. When you are, for students especially, okay, this is my suggestion which I give to all my students. When you are attending online classes, please do not, attend on the sofa set or something. Have a designated space, right? Get ready like as if you are going to school only, and sit in the class. It's just like the work from home atmosphere, right? When somebody who's working from home, he dresses up, according to his office attire, and then he presents himself, right? So when you're going to school also, don't think like, okay, this is something casual. No, please, make yourself prepared. Have a designated space. Okay. So the next issue could be teacher training. Teachers are not well equipped or well learned about online teaching. This is not something which does not have any solution. I mean, with time we have changed, right? See, we moved from blackboard and chalk teaching to PowerPoints and using smart boards. Now it is moving towards online again. So teachers can certainly adapt to this kind of learning, because the core pedagogies, that is core concepts of education, how a concept should be delivered, how when a concept delivered, how a student gets it, that does not change. It's just that the medium is changing, right? You need to understand that online is a medium and offline is a medium. And the one more very common problem a lot of parents complain is screen time. I mean, you need to there is no solution to this as such. The only solution could be, if you can afford, buy good equipments, like do not attend online classes using a phone. Try to attend it using a tablet. You get very cheap tablets compared to phones actually, right? If you want to buy a good phone, you might have to spend around 15 to 20,000. In that budget, you will get a really good tablet also. So for parents, if there are any parents in this webinar, my suggestion would be that you don't buy smartphones for your kids for online learning. Instead, buy tablets. They're better. Okay. So moving on, let's discuss these issues in a deep manner. So first issue is technology issue or infrastructure. So we know that in a country like India, it's very difficult that online learning, goes to every corner. I mean, like right now, see, I'm in a city like Bangalore, but if you compare it to some small village near Mysore, right, the situation is different. I mean, majority of the India lives like that, wherein the access to technology is there, okay, but it is limited. Like, everybody does not own a laptop, tablet, internet, and everything. But we have simple and cheap solutions for it. So what are those solutions? Right? I'm a math teacher, right? So if there is a problem, then there is a solution too. So what are some solutions for it? One of the solutions, smart. Okay, I that don't buy smartphones for the parent, but if you cannot afford a tablet, if you cannot afford a laptop, smartphone is one of the cheapest solution, to make sure online learning reaches to every corner, right? And a few low bandwidth teaching methods I have written here, right? So low bandwidth teaching methods means one of the most things teachers complain about is network is not proper, there is connection issues. So you need to understand that whatever the internet you have, the 4G or 5G or optic fiber, it has its own limitations, right? If you cannot afford a good internet, make sure you use those tools which take up less internet. Like, for example, you can use a video, right? You can use a video to convey your message, to teach biology or to teach mathematics or to teach physics. A video can convey a lot more than you trying to keep your video camera and teach. So there are simple softwares. There is a software called as Camtasia, which is a paid software. There is a software named Windows Movie Maker, which is a free software. Using these softwares, you can just record your screen and teach, right? You can also use audios in very remote areas where internet is limited to just 3G. Sending audios, like for example, you can just send those trigonometric formulas like sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. right? Sin A plus B is equals to sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Just that audio is enough to convey your message. Use pictures, of course, when you're teaching. Forget that, gone are those days where we have a blackboard and chalk, we draw everything. No, use pictures. Because when you use an interactive board and when you're drawing, it takes more internet than, use a picture which is already there. This might not work in the case of some subjects like biology where you need to teach how the child has to draw. But in most cases, it'll work. Use GIFs. GIFs are nothing but these moving pictures, right? GIFs convey more than a picture. For example, I have one GIF right here. It's nothing but, this is a very simple concept. What do you learn from this? It's nothing but, if a triangle is formed with 3 points, there is a unique circle passing through it always, right? That is a simple concept here, right? It's a simple GIF, but conveys its message. Use learning management softwares, right? Learning management softwares are nothing but, softwares like Google Classroom, right? Microsoft Teams, where everything is done in one. You can your tests, you can, conduct quizzes, you can, talk to the students also. Use one single space. Do not use multiple space. Do not use Drive, WhatsApp, and everything, for your sending assignments and everything, right? Then other low bandwidth teaching method is online assessments. I mean, don't just give a PDF and tell your student to, solve, right? I mean, the video is just on, or it will take a lot of internet. So understand that if you use simply a Google Forms, or if you use quizzes, which are free source, use these tools to make your assessments, right? Then third solution could be, of course, educational policy should include online learning in it. I mean, our Indian curriculum right now is not at all aligned with the online learning and online teaching. I mean, a complete revamp is required regarding this. Such webinars has to be conducted. We need to discuss as teachers, as educators, we need to discuss the points which have to be included, and a policy need to be developed. And of course, the fourth one is self-guided exploration. What I am doing, what I preach. That is, when you're a teacher, you need to know that you're a scholar practitioner. You're not just somebody who comes and teaches a concept and leaves. Your duty is not limited to that. Your duty is to learn a concept and convey it to the students in a way they understand, whatever the medium be. It can be, right? Now, for example, there are few techniques we have developed for, offline teaching, right? When you're turning towards the board, when you're, drawing a diagram, you have certain techniques. You need to develop, redevelop those techniques for online learning as well, right? The next problem is one of the biggest problems faced by students. Students, I know this is your biggest problem, that is motivation in online learning. Self-isolation, it is called, right? How do I get motivated to learn from my house? You need to understand that online learning is not because of just the pandemic. It is something which has started because of technology, right? You need to see that the world is moving towards everything we have, every sector with technology. There is fintech, which is financial technology. There is edtech, which is education technology. There is fittech, which is called as fitness technologies. You see those apps, right? Those fitness apps wherein, which calculates your carbs, lifestyle apps basically, right? So everything is, getting attached with technology, right? So corona or no corona, online learning was going to happen anyways because of, how technology is moving. I mean, if you see, it's not only that, we are doing online learning in classrooms. EdTech is a vast field. It's not only restricted to teaching schools. Okay, it has YouTube, it has massive open online courses, right? It has those certification courses, right? So you need to understand that you need to be adaptive to this. You need to understand that, yes, this is the future, but okay, don't take online learning, as a joke or, it's something, don't take it casually. That's what I want from you guys. You need to understand that it is a process for your career. It is a process for you to advance in life. It is a process where you gain knowledge, right? So you go to school. Why you go to school? What is the purpose of going to school? That you become a part of society and you become capable in a society. So online learning is also the same thing. It's just that the medium is different, wherein people deliver their concepts through online medium, right? So solutions for this is for teachers especially, promote unmuting in classroom. I've seen that most of the teachers will be like, no, don't unmute. I know there are problems related to it, that sometimes it's very hard to discipline your students, but try and promote, whenever it is a small classroom, try and promote unmuting in classroom. Start creating flipped classrooms wherein you tell your students to take the classes. So what happens is students tend to become involved when they see one of their peer, one of their friends is presenting. They tend to be more attentive. Also, when you're the only person who's teaching, it becomes monotonous, right? Now, next thing is tasks rather than just assignments. Do not just give assignments, because solution for everything is available online, right? They can just Google, they can just copy and paste. Give tasks instead. Give some quizzes, give some activities. Like for maths especially, this website is there. Take a note if you want. If there are maths teachers, please take a note. There is one website called as GeoGebra. It's by Google. There are such beautiful tasks wherein the assignment is not limited to just a question is there, just writing an answer. They have to conduct few activities to finish the assignment. So what happens that in that process they tend to learn, right? So in real school, you have a tendency to ask them, you're sitting in front of them, you're seeing what they're doing, so it's easier to understand. But in online learning, it's very difficult to understand because you don't have that interaction. But if you give some task wherein the computer does the work, the computer is basically, taking through that route, then it will work, right? Then next is blended learning environments. That is nothing but, start thinking about hybrid classrooms. Give option to your children that you can either attend from online or offline. So it increases the accessibility also. Online learning actually increases accessibility of education. For example, what I have seen is there is data that number of absentees has reduced a lot after advent of online learning, right? Because the motivation to go to school is also a lot, especially among lower kids children, primary school children and everything. Online learning has made the attendance rate a lot more than what it used to be previously. And then use social media. Don't think social media is your enemy, right? As teachers, we think that, okay, fine, social media is only a place where to waste time, right? It's nothing like that. You can definitely use social media. You can use an app called as Discord, which is popular among children. Discord, unlike WhatsApp, has servers and various rooms, various audio rooms and video rooms, wherein you can communicate to your student through different mediums. There is a screen share mode also in Discord, wherein you can solve your doubts. And use blogging, right? There is, if you're interested in math, there is one blog name called as kumarsir.wordpress.com, right? If you just Google Kumar Sir Mathematics, you'll get one blog. It's such a beautiful blog wherein all the all the information you need regarding grade 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 math, CBSE, right? You have it there, right? Use WhatsApp, use Telegram, use different mediums to talk to your students. Don't be like an online class done, yeah, it's done. No, right? In a school, there is something called as a staff room environment where your children come there, you have a conversation, you understand what their vibe is like, you understand what they're thinking, right? So to understand that, you need to be connected to your students, and that can be done through social media. Next, one of the biggest problem of online learning is that face-to-face interaction, human interaction. There is no human interaction. It does not feel humanly, right? It's through a machine. Even now, I'm not talking to you directly. It is through a webcam and a computer, right? So what are the solutions for it? I mean, you need to take technology and you need to invest in a good interactive whiteboard. I mean, I've seen most of the teachers tend to shoot a video through their phone and then teach. I mean, that is not an effective method. You need to try to replicate a board on the screen, right? So our students are used to looking at the board, even for students as well. WhatsApp video or direct calling, use Zoom or Microsoft Teams, wherein for example, now the medium we are using right now, right, Zoho, right, I could conduct polls, right. That is the way I am interacting with you. So when you use a good conferencing software, the interaction is more. I mean, and even it works with low bandwidth also, right. Then use some simulation softwares and virtual labs. There are amazing simulation softwares for science and math subjects. And also there is something called as the virtual lab. Now, one of the biggest problems in online learning is, how do we conduct lab? You can certainly conduct labs online, right? Government of India actually has posted with some virtual lab links. If you just Google virtual labs, Ministry of Education, Government of India, you will get a link. If you go through it, there are few experiments given to it wherein you can set the parameters online. Maybe it's not real. Maybe you're not putting sodium and chloride and it becomes sodium chloride, right? It's just a vague example there. But there is a certain feel to it. You can see that if gas forms, the color of the gas will be visible on it, right? It's more than enough to understand the concept. And also it's a very economical way to do a lab. Imagine if you really want to do it, you need the actual chemicals, you need equipment. But in this, you just have to make that software once, right? And it does the work. And in future, there are some YouTube videos where you can see that, like, for example, a biology dissection, how to dissect a frog, right? It can be visualized using, AR, right? Or VR, right? That is virtual reality, right? And then use a learning management software. Always remember, in a classroom, use something called as Google Classroom. It's very important. Don't just share things on WhatsApp. It is not an organized way of, learning. Then in equipment upgrade, upgrade to a better camera if possible. Place your camera in a good position. Make sure backgrounds are good. Upgrade your laptop, right? If possible. There are very cheap versions on Amazon. You'll get on Amazon. There are lots of discounts on all of this. Upgrade yourself. Invest in a very good pen tab. This is one of the most important thing you have to do, right? If you want an interactive whiteboard, you need a pen tab with you. I mean, you teaching using DPT or you teaching, just by shooting the video onto your notebook is not going to help. You need to understand that the board needs to be the screen, right? So talking about pen tabs, especially in mathematics, you need a pen tab. It is of utmost importance because mathematics, needs visualization, right? You need to, when you're talking about a circle, you can't just say, on PPT, you can't just show a picture of circle. You need to draw and show it to the children, right? And then in mathematics, it's always synchronous problem solving. I mean, if you put a question and then if you put a solution immediately, it kills the purpose, right? That is, you can't just show a solution to a child. You need to solve and show, right? Mathematics is all about how to, it's a method wise learning. It's not like, you learn a concept, you understand it and leave it. No, you need to practice it. So to practice it, you need to show your children how, how to solve it on a board, right? And then third is instructor based learning. I mean, here the instructor, can, pace how the learning is like. For example, if you just want to do a special question, or if you want to show a video, or if you want to do something else, you can show it on your, using a pen tab. And there are pedagogical aspects also. Research show that, around 48% people, right, among students say that using a pen tab, improves their learning experience. Around 70% teachers say that using a pen tab has improved the way they teach, improved the way they look at online learning. So invest in a pen tab. Trust me, your perspective of online learning will change. Right. So the pen tab, when we're talking about pen tab, one of the best brands is Wacom because it is affordable. I mean, like the range of the price range of these pen tabs is anywhere between 3,000 to 10,000. All you need is a very simple pen tab. You don't need a very complicated pen tab. They have pen tabs for artists who do design work and everything. But for a teacher, you can buy this model, right? This model is called as One. It's affordable. It comes in different size options. If you're somebody who travels, if you're somebody who cannot, handle large equipments, you can get a very small version of this also. It's a battery free pen. As you can see that, this pen does not need a battery, right? Otherwise, what happens with the in interactive board, when some of you might have experience using interactive board, right? When the battery goes off again, you have to call somebody to get the battery, and then it's a waste of time. And it has good ergonomics. It works well with the left hand as well as right hand. It has a very simple setup. It's almost plug and play. Like, you just have to plug and it'll work. It is compatible both with Windows and Mac. It's very easy to carry. They provide it with a proper cover and everything, right? So now let me show a quick demonstration on how to use pen tab to teach math. There are certain things which I have learned in last 2 years of my experience. So I hope you all understand. This is not only limited for teachers here. Even students. Some of the tools which I'll be sharing, even the students can use these to understand better, because even these tools are accessible to the students also, right? So first is you can simply use this pen tab to teach something, write something, right? For example, we are teaching constructions, right? We are teaching parallelogram. Okay, mind you that my handwriting is not so beautiful actually, but I've been working on it, right? So like, for example, construction becomes one of the most difficult things to teach when you're teaching online, right? I mean, how to teach constructions? Like, you don't have a geometry box with you. You don't have that compass. You don't have pencil, right? So I have a solution for you all. I'll show you how you can learn constructions in online learning. So I've taken a simple question: construct a parallelogram ABCD in which AB is equal to 4 centimeter, BC equal to 5 centimeter, and angle B is equal to 60 degrees. Now, this is Microsoft OneNote. If you have Windows with you, this is mostly free for you guys. So in Microsoft OneNote, as you can see, you can make different notebooks. I have added, the notebook name as Wacom webinar. Construction is a chapter name. This is a lecture one. You can create new pages here, right? It acts like a notebook. And one best part about this is you can share these notes with your students just by sharing the link. You don't have to share screenshots. You don't have to share PDF, nothing. If you just copy this link and, share it among your students, they will have access to this notebook. Right, and one more other thing, you must be facing as teachers is, that sir, scroll up. Sir, can you please scroll up? I've missed it. So if you share this link, what happens is your students also have a parallel, feed. So they don't have to be dependent on you to scroll up or scroll down. Right, they can see it themselves. Try OneNote for teaching. I definitely recommend OneNote for teaching. Right, now it has other features also. Now, for example, if I want to draw a parallelogram, I need to draw a rough figure, right? I'm drawing a parallelogram here. So that's parallelogram. Now this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, right? So AB is given as 4 centimeters, BC is given as 5 centimeters, and angle B is given as 60 degrees. So this angle is given as 60 degrees. Right, now this OneNote has a lot of other features also. For example, you can see that this pen tab is so good that it has pressure sensitivity. Can you see that? It's a see, now I'm pressing it hard, so it has a pressure sensitivity. So if you are somebody who's into drawing, especially for biology teachers, when you have to show how to draw something, right? These technological aspects are very important, right? Now there are other features also of OneNote, which you can explore yourself. There is a proper training guide here. This is how I learned OneNote. So you can just go to this show training and learn about all the other features also. One other very interesting feature I would like to demonstrate on OneNote is if you have a equation like for example, let me just take an equation: x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. Now you can just select this equation, okay, and there is this button called as math button. So you'll just convert it into math. Right, now if you just go to select an action, graph in both sides on 3D, so you get the exact graph of what is x square minus 5x plus 6. We all know, students here might know that it is a parabola, right? It is a parabola. This graph is known as parabola. You can so analyze that, where it becomes 0. So roots of, can just wait a second. Can insert it here, right? You can see that it becomes 0 at 2 as well as 3 because the roots of this equation, right? Most of you might not be getting here. Okay, so this is a graph of this equation. So there are features like that on OneNote. Explore. Okay, don't think that what this button does or what this button is. Try. When you try it, you learn it. Okay, that's how I learned it. Okay, now I have drawn the rough figure. Now I have to actually draw the construction. Now, solution for construction, right? How to do it. So there is one beautiful website called as Active Inspire. So it's free for 60 days. So whenever you have your construction chapters, place it in such a way that you install this software around that time. It is free for 2 months. So make sure that you download this software and teach all the construction chapters. So now we are drawing a parallelogram. They said AB is 4 centimeters. So wait a second. The color is okay. That's 4 centimeters. So that's your side. That's your point A. And then next we have point B. Right. And then now, for example, let me show you this. Right. Now they've said angle B is 60 degrees. So you can draw angle using this compass. You need to get, some practice with this. Okay. Very important to get some sort of practice. So you can draw an arc. To draw 60 degree, you can draw an arc like this. That is a little bigger than I expected. Okay, fine. Draw an arc like this. Right. To draw 60 degree, you know that you have to cut the arc from here. Right. Can take this, join through this. Right. Can always rub the excess parts. Right. That is 60 degree. And all this I am doing on the Wacom pen tab. Right. So it's not, see, investing on something like this is very, very, very helpful because you can do all these things. I mean, think about it. How much difference will it make when you teach geometry like this when compared to just telling them what to do, like take your compass, draw an arc, or you're doing it through video, right? Okay, fine. So that was my that was my demonstration for using the Wacom tablet. Okay, Wacom pen tablet. Now let's get back to the presentation. Right. So a little bit about me. First, I didn't, I didn't give my introduction properly. So as I informed you, I'm an engineer turned educator with 4+ experience in math teaching from grade 6 to 11. I have worked in Bahrain for 2 years now, and I've taught in many reputed schools across Bangalore. I am currently pursuing, I did not finish actually, I'm currently pursuing Masters in Education Technology from University of British Columbia in Canada. It is a course wherein we learn about education technology and how it's going to be, a thing of a future. And I love to explore new ventures and technologies related to education, and I experiment them in my classroom. This is my appeal to all the teachers. Don't be scared. If you feel something is going to work, try it out. Okay, your classroom is your best simulation or test, right? And then my dream is to become a specialist and to use EdTech for improved learning experience overall, right? So now I'll be taking some questions from you all. Please feel free to ask any questions, anything.
Yeah, sir. There are some questions in the Q&A section.
Sure. Okay, fine. Okay. Saurav Mukherjee says hello. So hi. Okay. Uh, somebody says, aren't you from India? No, I am from India only. Okay. So I want to know why people talk about IIT so much, how it is different from other engineering colleges. Very good question. So I am from NIT Calicut. So what happens in these, so that question is asked by Adir Das actually. So I'll answer that question. The question was, again, I'm repeating it, why IITs or NITs are so important. So when you're doing engineering, right, I am not somebody who promotes that, you have to do only engineering or medicine. Whatever is your interest, please pursue that, go behind it. But if you want to pursue engineering, then IITs and NITs are, your best option. Why? Because the campus atmosphere. See, I became a teacher, or I have, interest towards teaching because I went through those 4 years of, learning. It changes you as a person rather than, only focused on engineering or something, right? So those campus values which you get from there, those traditions which are followed there, those, the freedom you get over there to think, okay, you might not find in any other private college. I hope I've answered your question correctly. Right. Now, anybody wants to ask a question by unmuting, feel free to ask. Okay, feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. Okay. And somebody asked, Atif Khan asked, how to use Wacom products in math teaching. I just demonstrated it to you. If you have an interactive simulation board like, OneNote, or if you have interactive geometry boxes like Active Inspire, a pen tab is a must. Without a pen tab, with the mouse, you cannot use those softwares, right? Why did you choose to become a math teacher? So, I mean, I do not have a very inspiring story, obviously, right? So, fourth year of my college, I happened to have 2 jobs in my hand. One in education, math teacher. Math was my favorite subject when I did my 11th and 12th. So I just chose math. And to be honest, math is one of the easiest subjects to be, to teach, right? And the other offer I had was from an industry. So I saw the job description of the industry one, which was just to look at one pressure valve. I knew that the pressure valve will not ever, crash, but still my duty was to just monitor that. So I was a safety engineer. Okay. So hence I knew that I didn't want to do something like that. I wanted to do something dynamic in my life. Hence I decided to become a math teacher. Right. Now, can Wacom be of any help in BTech courses? If you are teaching, if you are a teacher, then certainly Wacom will be very useful. There are these graphing softwares. For example, there is this graphing software called as Desmos. Using Wacom, using pen tablet, you can demonstrate graphs, okay, on it. And certainly your ED and everything, that is the engineering drawing and everything, can be taught through Wacom pen tablet. For computer science and for subjects which are related to not solving so much and PPT related, maybe not, but for core engineering subjects like civil, mechanical, electrical, you will need a pen tablet. Should I possess a laptop or computer while using Wacom? Anything is fine. You can use a desktop as well as a laptop. It is compatible with both. Right now I'm using a laptop and it works fine, right? That the question was by Anish. Okay, so the next question is by Neha. Sir, will you explain the concept of edtech or education technology? What is this? Why do people talk so much about it? Okay, so edtech is nothing but, as the name suggests, it is the culmination of education and technology. Right? We need to understand that, as I told you before, technologically we are moving from a normal web, like where we only saw the content from the computer. Right now, what, when you watch a YouTube, you're getting content from the computer. You're not interacting with the computer. We are moving from that phase to where we are going to interact with the computer. For example, nowadays, when you see that when you open your Netflix or Amazon Prime, you get those suggestions from the computer. The computer is becoming smarter, right? So EdTech is something to related to something related to that. That is, like, as we move forward in life, technology is going to be very integral part. Like, for example, if you move 50 years back, science was very important. Okay, now it has become precisely to technology. For example, anything you do, construction, medicine, finance, education, everything is combined with technology now. So the combination of education, that is pure education, learning. Okay, what is the learning experience with technology is EdTech. Right. Apart from doing math, how can I use Wacom pen tablets? You can use them to draw. Okay, for doodling. If you're somebody who's artistic and wants to create digital art, Wacom tablet is amazing for that. And with the NFTs becoming very popular now, digital art has a value right now. Okay, sir, I want to study abroad. Please enlighten me about the steps that I follow. Make sure your CBSE score is amazing. Okay, and create your profile. Start creating your profile now. Okay, these are my achievements, because the universities abroad. Okay, so this is from my personal experience. When I applied for UBC, what happened? The universities abroad do not see how much marks you scored. They see what person you are. What have you done? Do some volunteer experiences. Do some explore in the field. Try to get close to the professor who's teaching the course over there. Okay, they will give you advices. As a primary teacher, how can I use this device to teach children? As a primary, if you're a math teacher, of course, when you have to teach basics like addition, multiplication, or division, right, you need to show your children how to teach it. You can, of course, show using videos and everything, but to make them to make them write what you are conveying, right, you need a pen tab. What are the advantages of having a degree from abroad? The education abroad is way different from India. It is more towards your learning rather than marks. Okay, wherein they care about how much you learned and not how well you performed in the exam. So that is the difference between degree from abroad and in India. Bachelor's is more or less same. I am talking about masters. Right? Can you lead me? Can you lead me, sir? Saikat. Can you lead me? My dream is also to get a job in Google. Right? See, I always tell this to children: do your own research. Do not follow any uncle or auntie or any teacher. If a student comes to me also and asks, like, sir, what shall I pursue? I say that do your research, man. There is a beautiful website called as google.com, right? You can Google on Google how to get a job on Google, right? Simple as that, right? I'm planning to create my own YouTube channel for teaching math. How can I use Wacom pen tabs? Amazing question. That is by Mr. Akshay. If you are planning to create a YouTube channel, do one thing. Use Microsoft Board. There is something called as Microsoft Board. Use this software called as Camtasia for screen recording. So you can make your class. You can prepare your classes and then teach certain concepts, teach certain questions, edit it on Camtasia, and then upload it on YouTube. The next question is by Vicky. I can draw a square or a cube in Google Docs too. Then what extra advantages of using Wacom pen tabs? Very good. To draw something, to draw a square or a cube in on Google doesn't let you skew it. Okay, wherein you cannot, it is not as easy as see, on a pen tab, you're just using a pen. It's just like writing in your notebook. When you're writing notes on your notebook, it is so easy to, do things there, right? But when you're doing the same thing using a mouse, it becomes difficult. Wacom pen tab is nothing but it's like your board. It's like your whiteboard, that's all, right? Instead of a chalk, if I give you mouse in your hand, will you be able to do it? No, right? So, but instead of a chalk, if I give you a pen, will you able to Will you be able to replace it? Yes, you can. Right, sir, I can't memorize the formulas of math and always get confused in the exam. Is there a shortcut? So one of the techniques I do, or I tell my students, is that, make formula sheets and stick it in front of your study table. When you see something every day, I mean, there is enough research for it also. Flashcards. When you see flashcards, or when you see something every day, you tend to memorize it easier. I'm studying BTech. I see a lot of my students prepare for government jobs, even they are getting job in this line. Why so? Are the jobs not satisfactory? Sir, I am studying BTech. I see a lot of friends and seniors prepare for government jobs. Even if they get a job in this line, why so? Are these jobs not satisfactory? I mean, it's a personal choice, Aditya. Government jobs are good in their own way. They have more security. But the other jobs also, the startup jobs, what we call in nowadays, have a different angle to it. It has more growth, it has more learning in it. It's a personal choice. Is there any institute in India where I can pursue masters in edtech? Not masters in edtech, but there are institutes providing MSc in online learning. I say that you need not necessarily have to pursue masters in edtech. You can do some massive open online learning course, which is for 6 months or something, on Coursera or Udemy, right? What's your opinion about all these online platforms such as Byju's and all? So online platforms like Byju's, Vedantu, Doubtnut, they need to act as an aid to your learning. They cannot replace a teacher, teaching, because it's one-way interaction. I told you, right? Teaching is always a two-way interaction, right? It's never a single-way interaction. So understand that they are a good aid for your learning, but they are not the permanent solution, right? What are the best colleges for pursuing higher education in math? You can look for Indian Statistical Institute, or if you want to pursue pure math, you can look for science institutes like Indian Institute of Science, CASR. Okay, right. I think I have answered all the questions. Did I miss any question? Did I miss any question? I hope I have answered. Any more questions you want to ask? Please, you can ask. Right. When is your magazine release? I don't have a magazine release, to be honest. I have a website where you all can connect to me with. Okay. Any more questions? I can take 2 more questions. Anything you want to know about education technology, online learning, please feel free to ask. This is more of, my presentation was more oriented towards online learning and its benefits rather than just math. Okay, so I hope you guys learn something from this webinar, and it will help you change your perception about online learning. So I would like to take a small poll regarding this, right? Please feel free to answer honestly. What do you feel about online learning after this webinar? Feel free to answer it honestly. Okay. Wait a second. Okay, fine. Okay. Please answer. Please answer. See, again, what I'm doing right now. Okay, what I'm doing right now, taking polls. You know why I'm taking polls? It's the data I'm going to get. Right. This is also one of the advantages of online learning. Right. That your computer is your friend. It helps you to do few things. In offline learning, imagine, raise your hands. I have to count. You understand that there are disadvantages to offline learning also. Right. For example, when you're writing on a blackboard and chalk, I have done it. Okay. The dust, you don't have that dust. Right. So think about it. Think in a positive way and know that it is the future. Right. We need to accept it. Of course, we cannot go back to our old ways. We need to accept what is going to be, in front of us. Right. Most of you, what I see, that 60% of the people say that it is something I can try to, adapt, which is a very good thing. I mean, you don't have to be completely in online or completely be in offline. Be in middle. Okay. Be, because there are certain things which online learning cannot do. Okay, that human touch, a computer can never replace a human being. That is the underlining fact. But still, try and adapt, try to use technologies in online learning to make the learning experience better is very important, right? So I'll share my screen again now. Any more questions? Sir, can you tell some tips for students preparing for JEE and NEET exams? Be focused. Students who are preparing for JEE and NEET, be focused. Hard work is very important when you are preparing for JEE and NEET. It is not something you get out of luck. It is something you have to practice. You have to put in 3 to 4 hours every day for it, and you need to be dedicated. You can't just say that I'm doing JEE or NEET, especially in online mediums. When things are provided to you, utilize those things and solve those questions. I'll just finish my presentation now. It was an amazing experience. I would like to end it with the quote that is, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. This was said by Nelson Mandela, who has seen realities of life, right? So thank you very much. Thank you everyone who have attended this webinar. Thank you Yoof.in for providing me with such an amazing opportunity. Thank you Wacom for providing me with this pen tab, which is amazing, and I recommend to all the teachers out there. If any one of you want to connect with me after this webinar, you can find me at my website, that is www.shezanzakriya.com. You can just click on the link. You can find me on the website. My WhatsApp number and everything is there on the website, right? This is my WhatsApp number. You can just contact me, right? Anything you want to know, any help you want in terms of EdTech or anything, feel free to contact me. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all. Sarthak, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So, sir, before we move on to closing this session, I would like to ask something regarding educational technology. That while we have talked about so many advantages of EdTech, how it makes education much easier, much comfortable, and just from our own respectable places and people all over India, like right now you are sitting in a different city, I am in a different place, our audience is in a complete different place, we are able to gather together. But in this circumstance, it's just the two of us who are able to see each other's faces. And initially there used to be a belief that education, there's a huge role of body language, how the teacher is communicating things, how the students are grasping. So is that a kind of a drawback in online education, and can it be solved in any form?
It can be certainly solved. Very good question, Sarthak. I mean, definitely you seeing a person and you seeing that person on a camera makes a huge difference. So we can optimize it. Okay, so one of the ways to optimize it, I told you, interactivity is very important. You can't just for example, I can't just put a board here and teach, right? Me teaching on the screen, when I showed you the pen tab demonstration, that makes a difference, right? Like your child is looking at the screen, what is happening on the screen, or me teaching here, they might not be able to focus. So these are the elements which are inside computer. In technology, there are certain elements which make it interactive, right? For example, when you give a simulation, when you give a GIF, you see something moving. So it is body language of the computer which you have to use for education technology, if you can't use of a person, right? And going forward in future, we have such VR and AR technologies where you can actually create actual simulation of a person, right? That's something we look forward for future. We need to keep in back of our mind, telling that there is something, it's always going to be evolving, right? We used to have post, telegram, then we had SMS, then we had calls, right? Now we have video calls, right? We are moving on to next VR and holograms and stuff like that. So we need to be accepting of that. I hope I've answered your question rightly, Sarthak.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Absolutely. Like we can always look forward to more better technology coming in the future, and maybe even this in virtual
technologies. I suggest that use technology to improve that.
Yeah, exactly. And just now realizing about you when I was reading about you and seeing that you have actually are right now pursuing masters in educational technology, and seeing that this has developed as a discipline in itself is a huge deal.
Yes.
Because if we are studying this thing, then we can definitely improvise it in the future for sure.
Certainly. I mean, this one of the reasons. See, I came from a very traditional. I used to actually teach with a blackboard and a chalk. In the schools I used to teach around in Bangalore did not even have a projector, right? From that, the transition to completely teaching online. You see things, right? And if it is developed as a curriculum and taught as a small workshop or something to all the teachers around India, especially my appeal would be for all the government school teachers, because the mass of India lies there. The mass of education lies there. But the edtech companies like Vedantu, Topper, or Byju's are also doing good thing. They are giving out products which is making it easy for people to learn. So edtech is important for the development of country too, if you see in that sense.
Absolutely, sir. It's truly important, and I guess there are different policies in our country that are being made to emphasize this point much forward. And I guess today's
100%.
our session, even our today's entire session, was in that direction only, contributing to that knowledge only. So
Yes.
yeah. So coming to the concluding point of today's event, this was absolutely a mesmerizing session, and I would like to thank Shezan sir for giving his valuable time and extreme bucket of knowledge to us. I would also like to extend my thanks to Wacom for giving us this opportunity to bring this event to life. I would request our audience to check out Wacom's official website, wacom.com, to check out their really cool products, as explained by our today's mentor even. Explore their Insta profile, Wacom India. Also, I hope our audience was truly impressed by Shezan sir as much as I would, and they would also check out their mentor's Insta profile, that is @m.shezan. Also, lastly, don't forget to check out Yoof's Instagram page, Yoofmath, to keep track of our upcoming events, Yoof Live Instagram sessions, and most importantly, our upcoming magazine as well. So, thank you all. Hope you will have a nice and safe day ahead and keep learning new things. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarthak. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.